just pull the calculator out. It's the fear of the what if or the assumptions that they're making. Get us on the phone because of that very thing you brought up. That's why we give you fast answers. We're not trying to, jerk you around for a week, then come back and say, oh, no, never mind, or terms are changing here. Pull the calculator out, talk to your client and say, hey, here's your options. We all know your house is dated. You need these issues. You either can pay cash for it, which it looks like you don't have because you just bought this other house, or calculate the interest. It's simple interest, calculate the minimal closing costs, and then you just show them on pen and paper what it would cost. And that's also, responsibility of the agent to where make sure you're being realistic with your client. To overcome that obstacle of bringing us up with your clients is understand our product. Pull your calculator out and actually see what the true cost is.
You're listening to the number one real estate podcast in the world. We talk with real estate professionals all across North America, but their wins, losses, lessons, and stories help you win in your local market today. My name's Cody from Sheridan Street. I'm joined with Vikram Deol of the Real Estate Sales Academy, who's munching on some nuts, munching on some pistachios over here. If you're not listening on YouTube and you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, Vikram, how are those pistachios? They're nourishing your soul.
These are from the wonderful company. These are actually my parents' neighbor, the Wonderful Company. It's a huge pistachio plant or company, and these are seasoned salt wonderful pistachios. And I'm not going to lie, they're absolutely wonderful.
I think they should sponsor the episode. We should get Wonderful to sponsor the episode of the Origin Podcast.
Well, Wonderful can do whatever they want. I think it's like a $3 billion company now.
So they got money. They got money. They can sponsor us.
They have money. They have lots of money.
Okay.
The owners are actually really cool too.
Sweet.
Three houses out from my parents.
If you were doing your job, you would walk across the street. You would ask them for a 10K sponsorship for the Origin Podcast. You would do that for us. I think you should do that for us. Okay.
We'll see.
What's up, man?
Nothing much, dude. Just, man, you know what? So next week we're going to be at the Rise conference for real. Cheap plug, but if you guys are looking for a brokerage that has training, has support, right, actually gives something back to the agents, not just like, hey, we're going to give you our training every 2 weeks. We're going to do a 45-minute mastermind training and teach you something, which doesn't really give agents enough cadence and accountability. When Sharon told me that he was moving over to Real, actually told us both the same day. I think we might have been together. But I was like, oh shit, this is going to be amazing because Sharon's all about training. He's all about hands-on. But one of the things that I love about the company is that when you start to grow with them, you get money back from them. All right. So you actually get, I was with a couple other brokerages. We did 7 figures in both brokerages, multiple years. And when I left the brokerages, it was like, they weren't even like, hey, thank you so much for helping us. Thank you so much for the years of, amazingness, or, fuck you, you're an asshole. We hated you the whole time. That's kind of what I got, was like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. And I didn't get anything. And I realized this is that when you are in a traditional brokerage, you are a renter. But when you go to a cloud-based brokerage like Real, like I'm a part of Real, or you go to EXP or you go to LPT, whatever it is, you become a partner. And if you produce, you get a portion of your production back in stock, or a portion of your production back. Because I recruited agents to the other brokerages. I didn't get anything from it. And it's just started hitting me like more and more recently. I was like, my God, dude, we did millions of dollars in commissions. We brought 10, 20, 30 agents. I remember my broker, hey, Vic, there's this young agent. Will you talk to him? I got nothing out of it. So there should be a link down below if you guys are interested in a conversation about how a different brokerage might possibly be a better option for you moving forward in 2024. Click the link and let's have a conversation.
Well, we now know Compass is no longer sponsoring this podcast. Thank you, Vikram.
Why? Compass can still sponsor us. I have nothing against Compass. I'm just saying that.
I was just playing, bro. I'm playing. That was a very, very heartfelt, invite to Real.
Well, I just talked to a lot of people. We just talked to a lot of people, and at the end of the day, they're with these brokerages for 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
No,
and they have nothing to show, because these companies, unfortunately, are not built to help you grow wealth. They're built to help you cap, but once you cap, you actually become a liability for the company because the company doesn't make any more money, but they still have to service you, your deals, your transactions, and all the liability. So if they can get you to 18 to 20 deals a year, which most agents will never get to because the company's built to get you there, you have to build a company that gets you to 50 deals, and then your agents get to 24 to 28, 30, because your system is built for 50. And then you get to that 25, 30 deal mark and you make six figures, you have a great life, but you still don't get anything at the end of the day. Anyways, doesn't matter what you guys do. I don't really care. I just want you guys to all make more money, have a better life. And when you're 65 years old, you can actually retire like a normal American.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That was a great rant. I appreciate that rant. We have a very special guest with us today. I'm gonna go there. I'm like, how do I like bridge this like infomercial for real to an intro?
Sponsored by Wonderful Pistachios.
Sponsored by Wonderful Pistachios. But you had your monologue was about money, and we're speaking to somebody who can get people money. So that's that I guess that's the bridge. Zach, my man, what's happening? Why don't you give us a 60-second Cliff Notes version on who the heck you are, where you are in the world. Anyone that is listening back on YouTube,
beautiful
where
office.
you're at, like beautiful office. It looks
thank
like
you.
Very great.
It's not a Zoom screen. It's real. It's Dallas.
It's real.
Yeah.
So Dallas. I was in Dallas? I was in Dallas this year. But tell us, who are you? What do you do? What's Capital Fund One?
Yep. First thing, I'm a prospective real agent now. I'm gonna look into that. Thank you. So. Your plug work. But anyway, so Zach Fuhriman, Capital Fund One. I am the Senior Vice President of Revenue over here. We are arguably the largest hard money lender, true asset-based hard money lender in the U.S., at least in the West Coast or the Southwest area. We started in 2009 with about $2 million of private money, and we've since grown that to about $700 million. We have that under management. And we are loaning and doing business in Arizona, Colorado, Texas, Tennessee, and then this next month we're opening up an office in Atlanta. And hopefully we'll be in the Carolinas in the first quarter of next year. So asset-based lender, meaning no credit checks, no appraisals. We can close in as little as 24 hours if title's ready. So we're all about speed and efficiency.
Let's jump into this, bro. Thanks for being on the program. I'm talking to a lot of agents right now. As a buyer's agent, how do you actually show value versus just saying, right? Because agents are great at saying, oh, we're great negotiators, we protect you, we do this. But unfortunately, a lot of agents are let down because of the industry does not actually show you. So because the slide that I actually just finished about an hour ago was, how do you show the other options about financing? So This is an option around financing. So what are you like, what is a way that a real estate agent, you were talking about it in the green room, what is the way that a real estate agent can utilize a hard money loan or a short-term bridge loan, gap loan? You guys are like an emergency loan for some people that might have bought a home and their home is now not selling and they're starting to feel a little bit of a cash crunch. What was a way that you would mention that they can utilize your services?
Yeah, absolutely. So my LOs, their primary focus is calling real estate agents. Like they're one of our biggest referral partners where we help them out. I mean, we love going to networking events because we can only help your business. I'm not your competition. I'm not your normal mortgage conventional lender competition. We just only help investors or investment properties. But to answer your question, as long as you don't live in the property, if it's a vacant house, even if you're not an investor, so you bought another house, you thought your house was going to sell, it's sitting on the market, interest rates are high, maybe there's some repairs that you neglected, but you thought because inventory is so low right now it would sell, but not as optimistic, or it's sitting a little bit longer than you were hoping for. You can give us a call if it's in those states that we mentioned, and we can potentially do a cash out refinance and close in as little as 24 hours. We don't have any prepayment penalties. And one of the things we say is, we're the guys that you date. You don't marry us. We know who we are. We're a lot of fun, but we want you to pay us off as fast as possible. So You're not
You're,
here
you're
to.
the,
We're
you're
not.
the one night stand.
We're like a 5-month stand, and then you pay us off. And we're gonna, it's like,
You're like you guys are more like a fling, like a hot fling.
that's right. We're your
Yeah,
high school
okay.
girlfriend or boyfriend from high school that
Got
you
it.
dated for a couple of months, and you go on to the bigger and better. So, and that's our spot. That's our niche. We don't try to be something that we're not. We do have 30-year rental options, that are DSCR loans we can help you out with, but we're closing anywhere from 150 to 300 deals every month. 65% of those are past borrowers and repeat business, and the vast majority of those deals are fix and flips or buy and holds where you're just needing that bridge financing before a conventional lender can take you out and give you your long-term debt or pay us off or sell the house, whatever it is that you're looking to do.
So as an agent, right? As an agent, if you guys are a real estate agent right now, whether you guys use Zach's company or not, being able to say that in a buyer's presentation, saying, I have other means of funding available. I have traditional funding and I have non-traditional funding. Because that's what this is. Team leaders, teach your agents about traditional funding, right? Your 5%, 3.5%, your 20% traditional loans, but teach them about non-traditional funding, right? I'm sure Zach company or Zach himself would be open to having a conversation about why their company is a better fit for some people, not all people, in certain regards, right? But this is how we add value. So you guys are out there, and what are the properties you guys typically help people with? So you can help people with non-owner occupied short-term loans. You can help people with fix and flips. Well, it's getting late in the day. Fix and flips. What else are you guys able to help people with?
Like you said, for the traditional agent, you're in that buyer's presentation. Hey, I understand money's kind of tight. We all know it's easier to sell a vacant house than, one where people are living in it, kids are trashing it. So if you guys buy this other house, or if you have the ability to move into that house, we can come in. I have someone that can give you a no credit based loan, no appraisal. As soon as title's ready, they just need to know your current debt, the amount of money you spent on repairs, get current photos of the property, and then they can fund if title's ready to go and get you up to 75%, the ARV or the loan to value worth of cash out of your property. So if there's equity in that one, they had enough to buy the other house, but they still need to sell it, but they're able to move out of it. We could potentially loan on that one. So that's one of our biggest sources where just traditional realtors who are, on the consumer side helping out, where we can come in and provide value. Or again, people have rental properties. They want to pull money out of those, or they want to, they're working on their credit and they have Airbnbs that they're trying to get financing for, but they need it to season for 12 months before someone will touch it. Like I said, we're a true asset base where we look at the property. Our borrowers could have a 300 credit score. We'll never know. We just look at the value of the property, the money they've spent on it, the money they're going to spend on it, and we loan at a percentage of that value. And we can close when title's ready. So again,
it's really interesting that the idea of hard money loans, because I think for most agents that get into the space right out of the gate, I think it was last year, me and Vic were at a conference, and the amount of people in the local, we were at the NAREP event last year, Vic, and the amount of loans, the amount of loans that were available, the amount of grants that were available in the local area for
thousands of dollars,
hundreds of thousands of dollars, grants that were available that many people in the room had zero clue about. And a lot of it just came down to this information sometimes to agents feels hidden. The information around hard money loans and how to even take the first step towards getting their client. Because the first step that the agent needs to take in order to be able to effectively communicate a hard money loan to an investor, to a buyer, to a seller rather, they need to get educated. So I guess how have you seen agents find the right education specifically in your space of hard money loans and lending? Because obviously you've worked with a lot of investors, you work with a lot of lenders. You said that the lenders that you're working with are often making calls to realtors. How does a realtor get the right information around being able to effectively communicate when a hard money loan should be used and when it should be used?
Sure. And that's, part of what we do here at Capital Fund is a lot of my guys are cold calling just traditional brokerages, saying, hey, can we come to your office and do a presentation called Hard Money is Hard, where we go and we just educate what we're doing. It's a clever name. We trademark.
That's
good. So we, we just, you just have to know what your options are. And that's what we're actively trying to do, because again, people hear hard money, especially if they've been in the business for a long time, we're a shadowy Joe figure over there, with a baseball bat. If you're not coming to, if you don't pay us, we're taking everything you own and things like that. Where, there are some lenders out there, but, Capital Fund One, we strive really hard we don't care about doing one deal with you. We want you to come back 100 times. We want to be that tool in your tool belt. So you want to jump on the phone and talk to us for 10, 15 minutes, have us come to your office. We're more than happy to do that. And, provide that. Because again, what are you paying for? We're a short-term, high-interest loan, but again, you're paying us off quick. But the value that we're providing is we give you fast answers. So if we don't like it, we'll tell you within 24 hours. You submit the deal to us within easily same day or within 24 business hours. You're going to have a yes, we'll look at this, or no, we won't. And so again, it's just speed. We're just one of those tools in your tool belt you can offer as another solution. Are we the cheapest? No, but something that's fast is never cheap. But we're very competitive with the hard money space. But, when people hear our rates as opposed to a conventional loan, they're like, oh, why would I pay that? It's like, well, again, you only have the loan out for 4 or 5 months, and you actually do the math. You get this whole another set of options opened up to you for a few $1,000, depending on what the loan amount is.
Hey, what's up? If you're a real estate agent that is not converting at least 2 deals a month, join me inside the Real Estate Sales Academy, where I will teach you exactly what to say, how to say it, so that we prevent objections and we don't create sales resistance from our prospects. If you're not doing at least 2 deals a month, comment trial below, because I'm going to give you an opportunity to try our program before you buy it. You're going to get 3 live coaching calls with me, who sold over $250 million in real estate, millions of dollars of Cutco knives, for free, because I believe in try before you buy, proof over promise. See you inside, comment trial below.
So somebody can come in with you guys, right? And so let's say an agent's talking to a seller and they've tried other forms of money. If the seller still lives in the home, are you guys able to do any type of loan product for them to help them with repairs if they live in the home?
If our borrower cannot live in the home, that's what separates us. So if you are buying the property and you want to do a lease back with the seller, that's therefore a rental. Our borrower just can't live in the loan. As long as the borrower doesn't live in the loan, we can probably do it.
Okay. So if a seller is out of the house,
yep.
as long as this is no longer their primary, do they have to show proof of, like, let's say they go live with their parents while the home is for sale and they want to do the repairs and they don't plan on moving back?
Yep. Need a lease or a copy of a utility bill or something, just showing that you don't live there anymore. Or if you send me photos and the house is vacant, it's like, okay, no one lives there,
Okay. So now we can do repairs for the seller.
Yep.
So this is ideal. Like, I have a client right now that the kids are selling mom and dad's house. They put it on the market. It was on the market for 90 days. Everybody came back saying, hey, it needs too much repair for this community. It's an older community. Nobody wants to touch the repairs that has seen it. So now they went out, they got money, and, I don't know which company they used, but they used another company. They got money, and now they're doing the repairs, but they're having some problems and issues with that other company come to closing. And it's been like 3 weeks. So they could, this would be a perfect opportunity for them to get you in there, do the repairs, get the house back on the market, get the home sold, pay you guys off, and then they would take the proceeds, the extra money they're making, and hopefully be in a profitable situation.
I do that multiple times a month.
What are the drawbacks of using a hard money?
Your exit strategy. Obviously, like I said, we're the guys you date. You don't want to marry us. We look at, any loan we look at, it's, can you pay us off? Our rate's going to be between, depending on what state you're in, basically 11 to 12% interest only payments. And, we have a 12-month loan that we usually set up typically. So again, if you can't pay us off, that money just, the payments, start to add up. But again, it's, one of the first questions we ask you is like, how do you pay us off? Before we even start the conversation, we want to know how you're going to get out of our loan, because we know we're not a permanent solution.
It's crazy because I used to do hard money loans on my flips, and rates were the exact same as they were. So even though your guys' cost of money has gone up, depending on where your guys' funds are coming from, but cost of money has gone to 7.5%, 8%, and you guys are still lending at 12, which doesn't seem as bad as it did when rates were like 3 and 4%.
Yeah, exactly. Well, rates were at 3 or 4%. We were around 8 to 10%. So we've
wow.
gone up slightly. Yeah, we've gone up slightly. I mean, like I said, we try our best to be as competitive as we can. And a little plug for our investors, like, we pay between 9 and 11%. If you want to park some money here, you're accredited. We're always looking to raise funds too. So.
Yeah, I guess talk to us a little bit about that. Like when you raising funds, like what else are you guys up to? What are you guys using the cash flow for? Like, obviously you guys investing in funds yourself. Like you guys, like you said that you like if you're a accredited investor, you can park funds there. Like tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we raise the money, we loan it out. So like I said, we're made up about $700 million plus or minus a little bit. It fluctuates obviously depending on the month. We about 350, 400 million of that is actual dollars of investors, and the rest of it's made up of lines of credit with various credit facilities that obviously, we blend that together. But, again, it's just the more money we have, the more money we loan. That's how we're expanding into other markets and other states. And that's what we're trying to use that for. So.
What are some like areas that you're coming into, like just so that like people that are listening, obviously like there's your company, but like we have listeners in Canada, we have listeners all across the U.S. Like what are you guys are obviously planning on expanding? Like what are the next like states that you guys are going into?
Yeah, so like I said right now, Arizona, Colorado, Texas, Tennessee. That's where we're at right now. This next month, we just hired our first underwriter in Atlanta, so Georgia. We're going to be there and actively getting those things going within the next 30, 60 days. And then hopefully by the end of first quarter of next year, we'll be in the Carolinas, so North and South Carolina. And then we're just going to grow organically. Like I said, when I started in 2018, there was about 10 or 11 employees. We've grown it since to about 60 employees. Like we're a very large, small company, and so we look at every deal and we protect our investors' dollars where, this borrower gets hit by a bus. How do we take this back tomorrow? How do we get our money back? And so, one of the mistakes a lot of other lenders have made is you grow too quick, too fast, or we just want to be the best we are in the markets that we're in. And so obviously if you're, we can lend to foreign nationals if, people in Canada, as long as you have an ITN number and you can pay the government their taxes, we'll loan to you. So if you're doing deals in any of those states that we're in, we can help you out there. Again, if you have rental loans, we can offer those, DSCR products in pretty much 45 of the 50 states. We do have aggressive construction programs where we can get up to 85% of cost with the right builders. Our minimum loan amount's $50,000 and we'll go up to $30 million. So, we have a very wide range of products. Just our bread and butter is the single family house, but we do ground construction, office, retail. We just closed on a $25 million hangar in, Arizona that we're building for guys with too much money, so it just depends on the deal and where things are at.
Do those guys with too much money want to sponsor the RE Agent podcast?
I mean, I think they're open to going to Fogo de Chao if you guys are willing to invite them.
So how else are you, like, when you guys talk to agents, right? Because at the end of the day, if you help agents make more deals, if you guys help agents get in front of more buyers and sellers, that's the only way you guys make money with agents. So when you guys are out there talking to agents, what are some of the things that you're talking to them about? Like, how do you get in front of more people?
Sure. I mean, our business is very grassroots, networking, cold calling. We'll pull up the MLS and say, hey, Betty, I saw you 123 Main Street's been listed for a few days. It looks like the bathrooms are kind of dated. Like, your client interested in having us help them, pull some funds out and, get those things redone. Because obviously the markets that we're in, obviously you got a wide audience, but the markets that we're in, there's no inventory. So we're seeing on our payoff side, if you have a good house with a good floor plan and it's updated, the house sells. So usually if the house isn't selling, it's because either there's a few things wrong with it or it's a little dated. I mean, because right now we're seeing, the consumers, they're okay. They're not okay, but they're willing to put up with the higher prices with the inflation. They're willing to put up with the higher rates, especially if they have to move. They just don't want to have to then, on top of that, redo the house as well. So it's like, give me a good house. I'll pay the higher price. I'll pay with the higher interest rate. I just don't want to have to do a bunch of crap when I get into it. It's not like 2.5 years ago where it was just, I'll fix it later. Money's 1%, 2%. I'll take care of the stuff later. So this market's weeded a lot of amateurs out of it. But so the people that are still doing this product, if you do a good job and you don't cut corners, there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of money to be made. And again, if you're an agent that can provide that value and give your borrowers that option where they don't have to pull their credit, like that's why conventional lenders love us, because we're not reporting the credit. So we can go and get your house redone. They don't know about it because it's, we're just on the deed, and then you can pay them off, and it doesn't look like the conventional lenders aren't looking at your, like, why did you take this $200,000 loan out last week? They don't know anything.
So such an interesting space to play in. And you guys are doing some really cool stuff and helping, investors, get into more properties. And if somebody were to want to reach out to you, maybe they're a broker of record, or maybe they're a team lead and they want you to potentially come in and chat with their agents about hard money and what it is. And they just want to get their team the education that is needed in order to, when they're on the ground talking to these buyers, these sellers, these investors about different options to provide them the value that they need in order to get them home they want at the price they want with the terms they want. Where is the best place that we can send them to have a conversation with you?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you my contact information, or, just go to capitalfund1.com and you can connect with any one of my teams in the states that we're in. So yeah, our website's the best way. Just reach out to us, let them know that where you heard about us from, and, or you can contact me directly. Like I said, I have probably 7 or 8 guys in Arizona, 2 or 3 in Colorado, 6 in Texas, 3 in Tennessee, and, more coming in Atlanta. So we have no shortage of people to help you out and get things done. And I'm constantly traveling around to all of those markets on a monthly or every other month basis, and I'm happy to come in as well. So,
Zach, I got a question before we let you go.
Yeah.
A lot of agents are very hesitant to bring up hard money. And I know you mentioned it earlier. We're not the guys with a baseball bat that we kind of meet in the dark alley. It's not that type of world anymore. When you hear hard money, though, there's still a lot of like
negative connotation
seeps up, right? What are you guys like? What do you think is the easiest way for you guys to talk to agents? Like, what is the biggest fear that agents have about bringing you guys up? Do you feel, and how can agents bring this up better to their clients so that they can actually have a better option before we close out?
Yeah, really, just pull the calculator out. It's the fear of the what if, or I don't really, or the assumptions that they're making because of the things they've heard in the past. Get us on the phone. We give you, because of that very thing you brought up, that's why we give you fast answers. We're not trying to, jerk you around for a week, then come back and say, oh, no, never mind, or terms are changing here. Pull the calculator out, talk to your client and say, hey, here's your options. We all know your house is dated. You need these issues. You either can pay cash for it, which it looks like you don't have because you just bought this other house, or, for $5,000, calculate the interest. It's simple interest. Calculate the minimal closing costs, and then you just show them on pen and paper what it would cost. And that's also, responsibility of the agent to where, make sure you're being realistic with your client. I mean, if you just to get the listing, if you tell them you're going to sell their $500,000 house for $650, and you made them really happy like that, I mean, I'll be the bad guy at that point and say, no, this house is 525. And we're also another way just to check your numbers. Most of our underwriters in-house, they're former appraisers. All they do all day long is sit at a computer and evaluate houses, in real estate and stuff. And so we're a great way to double check your numbers. We're, to overcome that obstacle of bringing us up with your clients is understand our product, pull your calculator out and actually see what the true cost is. Oh my gosh, you're at 12% interest. It's like, well, yeah, but if you on a $200,000 loan, it's going to cost you $5,000 over 5 months, or 4 months. It's very minimal to actually get the job done. And hopefully that, cost of capital made you $30 or $40 or $50,000 because of those repairs that you did.
And here's another little quick tip, which I know you know about, but if your borrower doesn't have the extra cash to pay for your payments, instead of taking $200,000 out, you calculate what the interest is going to be, take 210 out, put 10 away into an account, make all your payments from that equity in your house, sell your home, get out of the stress, get the repairs, get out of the stress, and then pay off the loan. And it never came out of your pocket. It was just another way to skin the cat.
Yeah. And if you want to prepay our loan, I love you. That sounds great. You know?
This is a ton of fun. Zach, I want to say thank you for sharing with us another way that agents can think about funding. Agents can help
their clients,
more buyers, more sellers,
Absolutely.
more investors get out of weird circumstances. And I just really appreciate you today. And I encourage everyone to go to Capital Fund One, check a little bit more about that. And Vic, anything you want to say before I wrap it up?
If you guys got any value out of this, go visit Zach's site and go check out what they're doing, because you guys just having options, right? The number one thing is have options, right? You don't have to use all the options, but have them, because if you have them and you're prepared, when you show up, your buyers, your sellers, they're going to see you as somebody different. So go out and check out what they're doing. Have a 15-minute conversation. Do it while you're driving, right? Like going to your next appointment, you can talk to them, get some information, get them in their database, right? Get their emails and whatnot. It's going to help you. Two is, if you got any value out of this and you feel like this could help somebody in your brokerage, share this episode, tag a friend, depending on where you're listening to this at. Like us, subscribe to us. This is episode, I think, 211 now in under 1 year. So there's a tremendous amount of effort that goes into it, and we don't ask you guys for much other than leave us a comment about something that you might have not known, or maybe you even knew about it, but you forgot. And you're like, oh, wow, that was what Zach said was really powerful. Thank you. Just leave a comment so that we can see it. Zach sees it. He knows that it resonated and it helps, so that he can keep sharing the message with other hardworking agents like you. That's all I got, Cody. My rants are done for the day.
You're done. You're done for the day. You can clock it out. And I want to say thank you for tuning into another episode of the RE Agent Podcast. We'll see you soon.